So I am the department chair here in the art department, and we are here in the CFA, Center for the Arts Choir Room. Thank you all for coming, whether you're here, remotely, tuning in. We're here for a very special person today. I get excited when we get to do these talks, artist talks, as now we get to celebrate one of our students. Yturalde has been here since spring of 2019 from El Paso, Texas. And she came to us very vibrant, has taught us many things here in the art department and across this institution. So without further ado, we're here to hear Kay's artist talk on introspection. Kay?
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Kay. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for coming. For those of you who don't know, I'm very dyslexic. So school isn't the easiest for me, but we made it, and I'm here at my senior capstone, and this is one of my biggest accomplishments, and I want to thank everybody to come out and support me and who helped me get here. Let's get into it. Okay. So for you that don't know my actual name, my name is Yturralde. I go by Kay. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. El Paso sits on the border of Juarez. Growing up, I was surrounded by Hispanic culture and warm weather. So moving across the country to the states with the coldest winters was something, and I was not ready for it. But new adventures. I transferred to Valley City my freshman year from a school in Minnesota. Valley City has been the home for me for the past 5 years. It's a place where I have met so many of my people. These are my girls, us out. I've made so many memories here. I will be completing my academic career here in Valley City this upcoming December. So we're gonna go into my early work, and then we'll go into my process, and then the rest of my show. My early work in clay. When I transferred over, I was a sociology major. That was not the path for me, when I tell you guys. So the first class I took was a ceramics. It was just a gen ed, and that's where I fell in love, and I switched to an art major. My early work is where I started to find that I really enjoyed as an artist and the mediums that I like to work with. This is my first ceramic piece that I've ever made. Like this. Ceramics. 2019. My early work in clay especially is what led me to building things with my hand. I realized that I am a hands-on learner, and being able to tell stories is something that I really excelled in. Being able to take a solid chunk of clay and manipulating it to new shapes and forms was something that I really enjoyed. As I was taking other classes, I wanted to explore other materials. As a new artist, I want to grow and not limit myself to one traditional material. I was taking materials that are normally seen as trash, useless, or broken, and giving them new life and turning them into new forms of art. This is Clarice. She is a dry and lit on cardboard painting, sculpt painting. I made this back in 2020 at home during COVID. This is another one of my early works. As you can tell, repetition is very important to me, and having those details in my early work is kind of what led me to bring my details into the work that I'm currently doing now. This is mindfulness. It's yarn on cardboard. It's kind of hard to tell up there, but all of that brown is individual strands of yarn that I glued and just made a painting drawing with. These are some of the artists that I found inspiration in. This is Brianna. Brianna, also known as Bree, is a fiber artist that uses her work to cope with grief. Many of her pieces have significant meaning to them and usually reflect the state of mind when she is making them. I was inspired by the way that she used yarn as a writing utensil. Instead of taking paint or a colored pencil, I would use yarn, a 3D material, and give it a 2D meaning. This is Magnitude yarn on canvas. Joy Scott is another artist. Joy Scott is a glass and bead artist that makes art that shows the challenges of social and political changes. The inspiration that I got from Joy Scott was her way that she surfaced her pieces, the details within all of her glass work. When you have a lot of detail that catches your eye, it brings a new element into your work, and it makes not only your piece talk, but the surface of your piece also help deepen the depth of your guys' of the projects, of my projects. These heritage quilts, plastic and glass beads, yarn, and other fabric. This is my last artist. His name is David Gahuli. David Gahuli was a ceramic artist that was making art in the California funk art movement. He was the leading advocate for the funk art. Funk art is challenging the seriousness of the art world by focusing on absurd images of everyday objects. Okay, the funny thing about him, I didn't come across him until I think this semester, and when you see my work, it's weird and it's funky, doesn't really make sense, and I relate so much to this artist because his artwork is weird and funky and doesn't make sense. This is a frog burger. It's made out of ceramics. Like, cool. But he's just someone who I really relate to, and I really enjoy him as an artist. Okay, now we're gonna get into my capstone process. So my capstone process is divided into two sections. I have my sculptures and my narrative pieces. So first we're gonna go through my sculpture pieces. My first one is called Don't Touch. It's a sculpture, yarn on wood, Prismacolor pencil. Growing up, I always wanted straight hair. I would cry every time that my mom would try to brush my hair out and nothing would work. It wasn't until I got older and realized how important my curls were. A lot of my primas in my family have very curly hair just like me. And when I look at them and I realize that it wasn't just me, but it was my family and my culture and everybody in my family that has hair like me, it made me feel like I had a sense of empowerment. Don't Touch brings awareness to women of color and the power that they hold behind their hair. For some it's just hair, for others it's much more. This sculpture is called Yturalde. It's a sculpture yarn on canvas. So the reason I made this piece was it was bringing homage to my childhood. Back in El Paso when I was little, my dad used to take me to the ranchito, which is the rancher's market on Sundays, and we would get groceries for my grandpa. I remember this place being full of movement. It was always music. It was very colorful, very vibrant, and that's something that I wanted to bring into this piece. Each strand of yarn is glued individually onto these three large canvases. Little Joys. Little Joys brings light to my depression and my anxiety. Every morning, I would wake up and I would have a cup of tea. That cup of tea is kind of what gave me the warmth and that little energy and momentum to go out into the cold and to not be sad. So many of you know this piece. This is one of my hardest pieces I have to talk about because it highlights parts of me that I don't want to talk about. Many of you, I've asked you guys to help me with this by bringing me your own tea bags. That's also you guys bringing your own energy into my life and helping me. Okay. There's more than 300 tea bags in this project. Each one is hand resined and was put up to dry. And each one has its own specific spot within the chandelier. Those are all of the blue bags. Okay, now we're going to go into my fried food pieces. These are my favorite. So this is my narrative. So, okay, this is called Smoke Circle. It's fried food. It's a ceramics and acrylic paint and it's on a wood base. So the second part of my capstone shows my ceramic narrative. Each scene is based off real events that are a part of my life. I created fried food to be a lighthearted and fun way to look and make a fun and to look a little Smoke circles is a group of friends that get together after a long day of school and enjoy each other's company. My whole idea behind fried food started with my fried pickle. It was created as a pun project. The pun was fried pickles. And from there I created an entire series of fried food. You got Nikes on. Okay. So this is Mr. Eggplant, aka Big Papa. He is sitting in his blue chair rocking his old man slippers. He's one of the largest pieces that I have. This is fried asparagus, aka Lanky Boy. He's relaxing in his sun chair with his neck pillow. This is fried mushroom. His name's Shrooms. He is chilling in his beanbag chair, enjoying the vibes. My next fried food is called Darty. Darty, or beer darts, is a game that we play when it's nice enough to be outside and there's not 12 inches of snow. This is me and my friends all enjoying the cookout. This fried corn, aka Colonel, is sitting on his cooler full of White Claws as he's wearing his Crocs. Fried potato, also known as Spud, is relaxing in his darty chair with his smiley face slippers. Fried onion, aka Savoya, likes to lay on her tanning bed while she plays her game. Fried okra, named Ochre, is out on his sun chair enjoying his people. My next fried food is called Number One Son. Number One Son is the job that I currently work at. It is a very special place to me, and it's somewhere I really enjoy. Fried jalapeno, also known as jalapeno, is having a blast as he bakes while he is baked. He vibes. Rise and Shine is a fried hatch chili pepper. This is to represent when I go in the mornings and I get my workouts, I rise and I shine. And he's baked. Don't know if that has anything to do. Vibes. All vibes. As you guys can tell, art is very important to me. It's something that I use to express myself. It's how I show my emotion. It's how I use my words. Community arts is also very important to me. I want to be able to bring art to my community, and I want to have that safe place that people can come and express their creativity and have it with no limitations. This is me during my internship with the Bridges Arts Council. Oh, I'm also the president for Art Alliance, and I also help with different VCSU clubs as an art director. So bringing just art everywhere and making sure that people have an expressive outlet. This is where we did pumpkin paintings a couple years ago through VCAP. My future plans after college is to work with a community arts program and just provide the arts to my community. Okay. Before we get to questions, there is a section outside and there's tea. If you guys would like to be a part of my story and a part of my sculpture, I would like you guys to drink your tea, enjoy it, and when you're done, leave the used tea bags, and when they dry, I will resin them and hang them on my last tube of my sculpture, because you guys are part of my story. We're excited. Okay.
And we're now to the fun part, the Q&A. So if you have a cell phone, you can go fill out a question for Kay, which I will start first because it's the best part. So, fried vegetables, what's next?
Big.
Big.
Big fried food.
Oh, big. Like how big?
Like, you gotta use both hands. No, give a little weight to them.
Give a little weight.
I also really want to explore fried food in different elements, not just what I do, but in more like deep sea diving, or what if they're fried fairy food, or like, you know, on the moon.
Yeah.
See, funk. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just fun.
It's fun. Which you had a lot of fun with that project. What advice do you give to current art majors right now who are here at Valley City State? What advice would you give them right now?
Be the artist that you want to be and do it unapologetically. This is your work, this is what you create, and you be proud of what you create.
And what were the ups and downs of your capstone project?
Oh, procrastination. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you are an art student right now, get your work done when they say to get your work done instead of 2 months before it's due. Because you're going to be stressing and a lot of tears. But it's okay. Ups, I really got to push myself as an artist. I really got to see what I could do within that amount of time. And I will say, I picked out some pretty good work. I think my work was really interesting, and I really enjoy the pieces that I created. And not that like procrastination is good, but I think that little bit of stress was like, you're not gonna have that work in your show. Like, this is your name, you better have good work to prove it.
Because I know you said you transferred in.
Yes.
You were first to sociology and then said, no, that wasn't it.
So many papers, and I said,
That's not gonna happen. Whatever your field you're going into, but what advice do you give to the non-art major when they're taking that first gen ed art class?
Have fun. Have fun. This is where you get to express yourself. You may think you're not an artist, but everything you create has a little bit of you in it. So enjoy what you're doing.
So, what has been your biggest struggle through the whole process?
I feel like I struggle a lot sometimes with being an artist. So this is something that I was really struggling with in the past month, is imposter syndrome and feeling like the work that I am creating isn't good enough. And I think me getting outside of my head and realizing that I am a good artist and that I do take pride in my work and I should be proud of that no matter what people think, is something that I've struggled with. But I think it's something that I will always struggle with, but there's always ways to overcome it and make it feel not as heavy as it does.
Because art sometimes feels so personal. It's like our way of communicating.
And I feel, so my art is very narrative, it's very storytelling, and I feel like there's art that makes sense. And so when you make art that's abstract and it doesn't make sense, you're like, okay, why am I making this? This doesn't make sense. Well, other people understand it. But then you also have to realize that you're making this art for you. It makes sense to you, and that's all that matters. If people like it, they like it, and if they don't, well, they can find another artist.
Which is important, and I think also for your time here, Kay, you shared your culture with us, and that has been a very important aspect. What are you hoping to leave when you graduate? Like, what's the one impact you're hoping to leave here at ECSU?
I want people to use their voice. You were heard, use it, be loud. I'm very loud, I am outgoing, people know I'm in the room. Make sure you leave your presence, because that's how you get remembered. And I just want people to be remembered. You guys have impact,
So what is the most satisfying aspect of your art journey?
Becoming an artist. I think my most satisfying thing is really being like, you know what, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm good at, and I'm going to do this for a career.
Which is important when you finally figure that out.
Oh, yeah. I think realizing that I wanted to be an artist, because sometimes when you go into being an art major, you don't necessarily know what you want to do with a career as an art major. And I think realizing that I wanted to be an art major and I'm a good artist was the most satisfying thing, because it's like, you know what? I know what I'm doing and I'm proud of it, and I'm gonna do the best at what I know how to do. And that's art, that's using my hands, that's building things and telling stories.
Which is awesome. What is a medium you haven't studied yet that you're like, I really want to try?
I want to try welding. Fire, a torch.
Do glass blowing too.
So I like to take objects, like I said, that aren't necessarily seen as like pretty or pencil and paint. No, I want to take things that are hardier, that you really have to put a lot of like thoughts, muscle, mind into your artwork to create. Like welding is not easy, as well as ceramics. Ceramics is a hard piece of earth that you have to mold and create to what you want. And so being able to take those mediums and turning it into artwork. So if I can do that with metal, that'd be cool.
I know you're definitely a 3D person. I can remember you being in my drawing and painting classes, and you struggled, but you succeeded. You succeeded.
Like 2D? But I don't know what I'm doing.
But you succeeded with the yarn. That's what really, you found something.
I found with the yarn, because I did my first yarn piece in your drawing class, and I think that I was struggling so much with the 2D soft pastels, colored pencil, because I didn't really know how to work with it. And so when you gave us that project where we could use any sort of material, I said, I know I'm good at using 3D. Let me figure out how I can take a 3D material and turn it into a 2D painting. So that's how I created the yarn painting.
And you still do some amazing, especially when you're painting with your ceramic, the fried food. I mean, that's a level of expertise in itself, folks in the room, just to let you know. You learned a lot on both sides, which is very powerful.
I think what I did learn in my 2D classes with mixing colors, learning color theory, and having all of that experience within a 2D, I was able to take to my 3D work and put all of what I've learned from those classes into my 3D work to make my 3D work look even better.
Sweet. So community art is important to you.
Yes.
Why is having art in a community important? And what is the benefit to people? Two questions.
Into it. So growing up, I was never allowed to do art in school. I was always taken out, and I always had to do DRD classes. DRD was the classes that they sat me down and were like, you're gonna learn how to read. And I was like, okay. So I never got to experience art, but I always was making things on my free time. And so being able to provide the community with arts and having those kids who can't make it to their classes, or having individuals who may have a disability that can't make it to art classes, they have a space and they have that outlet to express themselves creatively within the community arts. What was your second question?
And what is the benefit to people with arts?
You get to express yourself. You have no limitation when it comes to creating artwork. You can put your heart and you can put your soul into it, and you can create whatever it is that makes you happy. And it's an outlet. It's an outlet for depression. It's an outlet for anxiety. It's a way that I was able to use my voice and make my biggest impact.
Which you have here at BCSU. I always know when Kay's in the building.
Oh yeah, that's loud.
And I guess since you were one of the last seniors who was part of the whole McCarthy, we love McCarthy folks.
Yes.
How do you like it here at the Center for the Arts?
I enjoy it so much. When I tell you I get so excited to come into Ceramic Studio without spiders, I mean, hands down. But I will say I have used, I feel, this space, I use this space to my advantage. I try to take as much as I can from it. These are excellent facilities, and just being able to come in as early as I come in and leave as late as I'm on leave, I think that's something that I really enjoy. Hopefully I find outside of school.
Which is important, finding your own studio, and I guess with your future, where are you hoping to travel to?
I will stay here for the next 5 months after I graduate, but my goal or my future plans is to head back down south, either Arizona, Texas, San Antonio, which is Texas, but like that area, just get back to the warmth. I don't do the cold. Not for me.
The cold brings so much. So what has been the most important class you have taken here at Valley City State University?
My art classes, all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
Is there one that stands out?
My ceramics one for sure. That's where I really learned that I love ceramics and I love clay, and I'm learning even more right now through my internship, and I'm really learning like the nitty gritty to a ceramics workspace. But I feel with all of my art classes, that's what helped me grow as an artist, taking all of them, taking classes I didn't enjoy, taking classes that I didn't know what I was doing, but having those skills, it just helped me grow as an artist.
So it's more, take everything as...
I will take everything. I will take anything and everything my professors will teach me, because at the end, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for like my academic career, and I'm here to learn, and what you guys have to teach me is what I'm going to take into my professional job.
That's awesome. Cannot wait to see what you do afterwards. Another question, I heard from another artist that art helped sorting out emotions and feeling. Does art also work for you this way?
Yes. Art is where I express myself. Art is my voice, but art is also where I get the most frustrated. Art is where I struggle when I have my art blocks, or where I think I'm not a good enough artist. But to overcome that, I create more work. I work through it, and I cry, I get frustrated, but it's all because I want to be the best artist I can be. And so going through those frustrations is what's gonna lead me to be the better artist. So it's both. It's my outlet as well as sometimes my frustration.
Which is always hard.
Oh.
It's, because I know the 3 art professors would, and even the music faculty would probably go through the same discussion too. All the pieces in the gallery right now, which one's your favorite?
My fried food.
Is there one?
I would say my smoke circle. Got a lot of memories.
A lot of memories.
Yeah.
A lot of memories.
My set, well, tied with that one is my Little Joys, my chandelier. There is so much that went into that piece. There is so much frustration and just really coming to terms of why I'm making it and what it is that this piece is highlighting. It's highlighting parts of me that I don't show. It's bringing awareness to things that I struggle with and I don't talk about, but something I struggle. I don't do well when it gets cold. I seasonal depression kicks my butt, and being able to talk about it in a way that made me feel the most comfortable, I think I enjoy. I enjoy that vulnerability that piece allows me to feel.
And I think, could you just describe, Kay, for everybody here in the room and online, the time you put into like Little Joys and some of those like the big sculptural pieces that.
So
yeah.
all of those pieces are so detailed and repetition, or I don't know that word. Yeah, that word. It took. I would get tea bags. I would resin them. I would have to wait 24 hours for them to dry. And I could only do a certain amount of time before I ran out of space in the spray booth. So it's, okay, get up in the morning, do that, let it dry, hang them up the next day, do it again. After those are hung up, resin the other set. And that there's over 300 tea bags in that piece, so it's just constant. With my yarn piece, every strand of yarn in that piece is hand cut measured. It has its own location and its own destiny and spot on that canvas. So being able to sit there and put the yarn, and put the yarn, and put the yarn, and let it dry, go do another project, come back, let's do it again. I think I was here like every morning, and I would have professors, like the music professors, like I have a little section upstairs known as Kate's Corner, and you would find me there just blowing yarn onto those pieces. So really putting in that time and effort to make my pieces look as good as they do, like I did that, and that was a lot of hard work, and I'm so proud of myself for completing it, because it does take a lot of time. And there were times where I was like, I don't want to come in, I don't want to do this, like why do I keep making projects that are so hard for myself? But it's like, I can do it, because I can do it is why I do it.
No, which is very important, I think, for everybody who's a non-artist to hear. Like that time, and you have to wait, and sometimes it's like, I don't really want to come in, because we all...
I did it. No, I did it. I didn't want to leave, but I said, my work is going to show who I am, and I'm going to take pride in who I am, so my work better show that. And it is.
So here's another question. Why Valley City State University?
Oh, my brother. Simple question right there. I knew about Valley when I was a freshman in high school. My brother came up here to play football, and I was like, you know, it's so interesting, huh? Small town. So I'm from a very big city, and I did not know what a small town was. I graduated with almost 900 students, and people graduate with like 12. And so I was like, okay, let's go figure this out. And it was somewhere that I could come and experience a different culture, experience new people and different climate. And I just wanted to be able to go out into the world. I moved across the country. My parents dropped me off and said, we'll see you later. And I said, okay, we'll figure this out. And I knew that this was a small campus, and I knew that with my learning disability, I was going to need professors who care about me and who want to see me succeed. And having Isaac come here and telling me that this is the campus where I would be able to do that, I said, okay, let's give it a go.
Sweet. How about the art department in general? Are you going to miss us?
Yes, yes. You guys frustrate me. But in the best way possible. Because I feel like if you guys wouldn't be the professors that you are, I wouldn't be the artist I am. You guys make me really figure out what it is I'm doing and do the best I can at it. So I think you guys have made me grow so much as an artist, and I appreciate that.
You're going to make me cry in 2 minutes. Thank you for coming here to Valley City State University, and thank you for teaching us K. I think that's the biggest thing I can say in return as your professor. Let's see, any other questions? What's your favorite tea?
Oh, what is it? Passion fruit. That one. Put some honey on it, let it cool down, put it over ice. Real good.
So you more prefer not warm tea, but iced tea?
Oh, I gotta be in the mood. It depends. Because when I'm cold, give me the hot turmeric. But when I'm warm, give me the nice iced tea. You guys have any questions? Can we ask the people?
Anybody else?
I'm gonna answer.
This isn't a question, but it's just a comment. When you leave, we are going to miss that smiley face going through the student center in the mornings or in the afternoons, and I'm going to miss the hi Pat. How are you doing?
Okay.
You can make it. We are almost finished.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you have any last comment, Kate, you want to give to this lovely audience here and online?
We did it.
Thank you. As we're finishing up, thank you, Kay. Again, we'll get you some tissues. Please join us again, folks, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, because we have one more senior. Elena Proctor, who will be doing hers live stream, so please come back questions for Kay?